Hey guys, welcome back! Following the awesome reception to my previous video on this subject, let's take a look at 6 more games from my collection that support 480p, the European PAL versions obviously, cause that's where I live. If you missed my first video, the direct link will be in the description below and popping out on the top right of the screen. So, let's take a look.
Mortal Kombat Deception.
Starting things off with a Mortal Kombat game, Deception, a genre that I stopped loving a couple of decades ago, cause I simply don't have the necessary skills to be victorious. Even so, I've accepted the challenge of giving you a glimpse of what it's like to play this game with 480p support. Bear in mind that this is the only way to enjoy real 480p progressive scan. HDMI upscalers won't simply do the trick. The option of running Mortal Kombat Deception in progressive scan mode is offered in the game's menu. As simple as that. And as you can witness, it looks incredibly sharp and beautifully detailed, something that would be distorted and somewhat muffled when not taking advantage of progressive scan and component cables altogether. It was developed and published by Midway back in 2004 for the PlayStation 2 and Xbox, and in 2005 for the GameCube. In 2006 it also arrived to the PlayStation Portable under a different title, Mortal Kombat Unchained. It's the 6th main installment in the franchise and the sequel to Deadly Alliance from 2002, and offers 26 characters to play with, 9 of them making their first appearance in the series. Several new features also premiered in the series, such as chess and puzzle games with the Mortal Kombat characters and an online mode. The Conquest mode, Conquest with a K, returns from the previous game, now containing elements of open-world exploration in between story progression.
Finish him. Mileena wins. Jak 3.
As you can witness, my copy of Jak 3 is still sealed. So, let's break the seal and try it out for the first time. Yeah, that's right. Never had a chance to play this 3rd installment in this highly popular series from Naughty Dog. And you're probably asking, what's the point of messing around with this PS2 version of Jak 3 if there are remastered versions on the PlayStation 3 and 4? Well, because I want to! Back in 2004, way before HD TVs became affordable and a trend, this was the only way to get the most out of the PS2. And it's awesome to revisit those years, cause, let's face it, no one played this game with 480p progressive scan back in the day. No one had HD TVs, let alone component cables. Just like in Mortal Kombat Deception, accessing 480p progressive scan is achieved by visiting the game's menu. We can immediately see the difference in sharpness, shadows, well, details all around. Like in its predecessor, gameplay is a mix of platforming, gun combat and driving. The main protagonist is led through the story by completing missions that are assigned by the various characters in the game. Those missions can consist of anything from defeating particular enemies, reaching a specific location, or completing a puzzle. There is even the chance to freely explore the massive game world as we see fit. Controlling the camera though can be a bit disorienting. Don't really know if there's an option to invert it. Even so, it was a pretty awesome couple of hours spent messing around with this game, and I'll surely be coming back for more.
Ghost Hunter.
Ready for another PlayStation 2 exclusive game? And this one wasn't yet remastered. It still remains a PS2 exclusive. It was first released in Europe back in late 2003 and in 2004 in the US and Japan. The US version even ended up receiving over 1500 fixes and improvements over this PAL version that I have here. Yeah, that's right. Why? Beats me. Don't have a freaking clue. So to access 480p progressive scan, the option simply pops out when the game is booting. Don't need to press a combination of buttons or access the game's menu. It couldn't be simpler from where I'm standing. If you love Ghostbusters, you will truly enjoy this one. I did! I've already brought it to the channel in one of my early videos, a hidden gem that many other players should experience. Xbox, Nintendo and PC gamers, I'm talking to you! In this third-person shooter, we control Lazarus Jones, a Detroit detective that is on his first day on the job. While on a routine call with his partner, Anna Steele, they are sent to an abandoned school to investigate reports of unusual sounds in the building, so you're guessing where this is going, right? We accidentally release a group of imprisoned ghosts from their confinement and our partner is kidnapped by one of those entities. We then must enter the ghost realm to track her down and, well, good luck!
Destroy all humans.
This is yet another example of a game that received a full remake back in 2020. Even so, it's always great to revisit this original version of Destroy All Humans, released back in 2005 and that offered 480p progressive scan resolution. Just by using component cables is a huge step up from all other connections, and with 480p support it just makes it smoother and crisper. It's incredible to see what could be achieved with this console practically 20 years ago, and these 6 games featured in this video are living examples of the technical prowess mastered by everyone involved in making them. Again, just go to the game's menu and turn progressive scan on. The game is set in 1959 in the United States and pokes fun of the lifestyles, pop culture and political attitudes of this time period. We play as an alien creature named Crypto, who has come to Earth to harvest DNA from humans to continue the cloning process of his species. Tons of weapons are at our disposal, and our UFO is even equipped with a deathly ray that can burn everything down to the ground. The game was so well received and hugely successful that spawned several sequels. Fox Broadcasting purchased the rights to the game back in 2005 and a year later announced and advertised the computer-animated TV comedy show in Destroy All Humans 2. Sadly, it ended up cancelled for some unknown reason.
Burnout Revenge.
3 years prior to Burnout Paradise, Revenge was released for the PlayStation 2 and the original Xbox, being a few months later, also enhanced and revamped for the brand new Xbox 360 console, with several new features and a vastly improved online mode. Even so, let's revisit this last entry of the series in that specific gaming era and 128-bit generation of consoles. On the PlayStation 2, holding the cross and triangle buttons together at booting unlocks the option of running this game in 480p mode. Something that indeed takes this game to a new level of gameplay, stability and fluidity. And have I told you that I don't miss those scan lines so common on CRT displays? This is the way I wish I had played Burnout Revenge back in the day, in all its glory. Since 2018 that we can play the Xbox 360 version both on the One and Series X and S, and that's without doubt the way it should be played. But in my particular case, this is the only way I can play it, using my trustworthy PS2 and a set of component cables. Prices of the 360 version of the game are high, and I don't own an Xbox One nor Series X or S to get the most out of it. So what can be said about Burnout Revenge? Well, it's basically the same old winning formula and similar to its predecessor Burnout 3 Takedown. Even so, it had room for expansion on the combat side of its gameplay, with new features like ramming same-way traffic, vertical takedowns when landing on a rival car after a jump, a new game type entitled Traffic Attack, and huge changes to the well-known Crash mode. So if you enjoy true arcade racing games, Burnout Revenge is for you. It can't get more arcade than this.
Black.
And to conclude, let's revisit one of the most incredible first-person shooters ever made, Black. It came also from Criterion Game Studios back in 2006 and blew everyone's minds. The developer even claimed that their intention was to do for shooting what Burnout did for racing, tear it apart, with dual emphasis on destructible environments and the handling and behavior of real-world weapons. And alongside with Burnout Revenge, Black also offered 480p progressive scan, and the method to enable it is the same also at booting, by holding triangle and cross together. So if you liked to play it in low res, wait until you experience it in 480p progressive scan. Everything just seems to come alive, more realistic and in consequence way more engaging and immersive. This one is yet another example of an incredible game that never got a remastered version for more recent systems. On the other hand, somewhere around 2007, a sequel was pitched to Electronic Arts, but never saw the light of day. We got Body Count instead, a sort of spiritual successor developed by many members from the original team behind Black, but now published by Codemasters for the PS3 and Xbox 360. Spoilers free, we play as a member of a CIA Black Ops unit that needs to somehow disable an arms smuggling terrorist organization called Seventh Wave. We can carry only 2 weapons at a time, 3 if we throw grenades into the mix, therefore strategy is needed when choosing weaponry. And talking about weapons, sound effects in the game were based on various sounds from movies like Die Hard and True Lies. This category ended up winning the Best Sound and Art Award at the 2006 Develop Excellence Awards. As for gameplay, it's a basic mission-based game, just like so many others, but the combined frenzy of the chaotic action, sound effects and music have the power to draw us back over and over. So here you have it, 6 more PlayStation 2 games that deserve a second look, cause back when they were originally released, few were the lucky ones that experienced them in 480p progressive scan resolution. Are you willing to give them another shot, but now taking full advantage of how the developers wanted you to play them? Tell me everything!
Moving to intercept. You will hold your position, Bravo!
If you've enjoyed this video, consider supporting the channel monetarily through Patreon at patreon.com/itsapixelthing or using the thanks button below. To keep up with what's going on with the channel, check all my social media stuff by clicking on the link in the description. Thank you so much for watching and I'll catch you all in my next video. Cheers!